normal Friday. Belly won't play. I would say Evan is not optimistic about that one, but he'll do some stuff today, so we'll see where he's at. And then really everybody else will make our decision here after practice. Kind of all trending the right way. Even Wandell, I'd say, but we got to see him out here practice.
So Zu's neck injury is not anything serious?
No, I think he'll be good to go. Yep. Again, we'll go through practice and then.
What have you seen so far from Shane Lemieux? How close do you think he is at this point?
Yeah, I think he's had a good week this week. I think it was better than last week's. I think if we need him to be ready to go, he'll be ready to go.
With Evan, was it just a matter of getting him to the point on the practice field? I mean, or was this a situation where you had hoped that he'd be ready and he's just...
No, I think we're just kind of easing back into it. Want to make sure we do right by the player, and I think he's gotten better each day. We'll see. I don't want to just say definitely no until we see him out there today, but I would say, probably I'm not too optimistic on this game.
How hard would it?
How much has Evan been able to do in practice? Like, is he getting through the entire practice?
Yeah, he's done some movement things and moved around, and I think it's kind of the next step for him coming back. But he's made strides each day.
How hard is it going to be for a guy like Evan to then get back, if he doesn't play next week, to get back, if he doesn't play this week, to get back next week? Because I'm sure there's not going to be a lot of practice.
Yeah, we're going to do a fair amount of walkthroughs. I think we'll take it day by day and see where he is. If he doesn't play this week, we'll see where he is the next day.
It's supposed to be cold and windy on Sunday. Obviously, I assume during a game you adapt to circumstances as the weather unfolds. But in terms of game planning, do you think about stuff like that when you're planning?
Yeah, no, you definitely have to have a weather plan. Particularly live up in the Northeast. We could think it's one thing 1 minute, and then all of a sudden there's 25-mile-an-hour winds. I think you always have to have a weather plan in place and be prepared for those type of things. And if the conditions warrant a change or an adjustment, then that's what you do.
With Dexter, is it just one of those things where you guys want to kind of manage his workload in the coming weeks?
Yeah, he's played a lot of football. I think whether it was Dex or really any of the guys that have played a lot, I think we talk about that at the beginning of the week and each day of practice, kind of see where we're at and just manage the load for these guys that have performed at a high level and played a lot of football.
Would giving Saquon such a heavy workload last week deter you from doing the same thing again? Or do you like it because it worked?
Yeah, no. I mean, it goes back to how the game is flowing and what you want to do, but if, it comes down to it, he needs 50 carries for us to win, then, give him 50 carries.
Do you have a conversation with him before a game where like you lean on him every week, obviously, but do you have a conversation with him before a game like last week's or maybe this week's where, hey, listen, like this is going to be 35, 40 maybe?
No, because I don't know if that's, I think as the game goes, you get a feel for it and what's going to happen relative to play calls, how many times he's touching the ball. I don't think you can go into a game and say, hey, you're getting this many carries or you're going to get this many passes or we're going to have – I don't think you can do it that way. I just think as the game goes, that's how you call it and you do what you think you need to do to win.
Well, Wanda, have you learned it all today? Or where you think?
Let's see I don't know. We'll get him out there. We'll see how he practices. Hopefully, I'm optimistic about that one.
Obviously, there's familiarity for you with Isaiah Hodgins, but skill set wise, what is it you like about him? What makes him a good fit here?
Very smart. He's been in the system for quite some time. Obviously, we changed a little bit of it, but picked it right up. Has good hands, good teammate, got quickness, good size. So, yeah, those things.
I know you preach to your players, we take it day by day, we're worried about this week. But how much?
Correct statement.
But how much do you, I know I'm prefacing with that because I want you to answer this question. But how much do you think they realize that you're now one game out of first place? Like that first spot in the NFC is right there in the range of outcomes.
Well, I'm sure they realize it, but that's not something, we don't talk about it when we were 0-0, when we were third place. Again, we're in a halfway point or a little bit past the halfway point of a long race. I think you just keep on running. get ready for the next game and play that game. And the minute you start thinking about other things or what's going to happen 3 weeks from now, it just doesn't do anybody any good, particularly the team.
Is there a point where you think, where you do, like, I mean, obviously if you're in week like 16 or 17 and that's the goal, do you then maybe bring that up to players, or are you even against that at that point?
Ask me in week 16 or 17.
You would, I assume you would love to be in that position in week 17.
Of course, yeah.
What makes St. Brown so effective?
Very instinctive, has a good knack for getting open. He's got quickness, really good hands. He's smart. I went and watched him. He went to Mater Dei, right, out in California. Productive player, productive in college. Just a smart, instinctive receiver. He's got a good knack. I think the quarterback has a lot of confidence in him. Any situation too. Got to have it. Third down, red zone. He's done a good job.
Brian, I'm sure you coached 60 minutes, but you're playing a team that puts up a lot of fourth quarter points, but, allows a lot of fourth quarter points as well. Does that conversation have with your guys, like, no matter what the situation is, this fourth quarter could be wild?
Yeah, no, well, I think no matter, we got our 60-minute, most like every team, right? Play 60 minutes, don't worry about the score. Obviously, we've been down some this year. We've come back. We've scored more points in the second half than we have the first. But every game is so different, Steve. You know that. It's just focus on the next play and try to do things right from the get-go. But, I'm sure there'll be quite a bit of adversity throughout this game like it normally is. I'd say a team that takes the ball away and can score a lot of points in a hurry.
What are your conversations like with a player who, like, let's just say Tay or Richie James, who's playing a ton of snaps early in the year and then barely playing? Like, how do you deal with that? How do you handle that?
I think they all know from the get-go is everybody's important to the team, and you got to be mentally tough in this business. After a win, after a loss, whether you're playing a little bit, playing a lot, then you're not playing. I just think that we try to do what's best for our team, and those guys have been good teammates.
Is Slayton's trajectory from the summer till now and what he's gone through, and I mean, I would imagine he's one of those you can point to guys like that aren't getting opportunities. I mean, what have you seen from him just off the field that is translated on the field?
Yeah, it is tough. It's tough for these young guys that go through some tough spells. It's tough for everybody. Everybody wants to play. You love as a coach to play everybody, but he wasn't playing a lot early. He was inactive. He just kept a very positive attitude, attentive, knew what to do, was ready when his number was called, and then he had some opportunities. He made the most of them, and he's earned the right to play, and be a starter for us.